I might be live. I'm not sure. I hope you can hear me. Please let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Hurry up, Izzo. Yep. No, you are correct, Lynette. I'm sorry I'm starting so late. I'll do an earlier one that you can be more a part of in the future. Can you guys hear me, or am I muted? I don't think I'm muted. Sweet. Hey there, Tom F. Hey there, Brianna. Hey, Adam, the coaster lover. Hey, Lynette, of course. Thanks for hanging out. I got no plan here. I've got some rums and some whiskeys that I'm gonna sample, but I figured I would do it just hanging out with whoever wanted to show up. So thanks for doing that. How was your day today? I was doing tile, so the up and the down and the knees are a little tough, but I always have some sort of way to protect the knees, so it could be worse. Brianna, thanks for joining us, Bree. That someday I'll be not cheap enough. We'll get rid of the duck head, but that's not happening anytime. Pretty good, Adam. How you been doing out in California? Oh, that's super cool, Tom. You want a guitar? That's awesome. They do lie, don't they? Or did they lie, or they just have good intentions that they can't follow up with? That's usually what happens with me. I'm never lying to anyone. I just am a terrible judge of my time and schedule. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Adam. Adam, I saw you had some good live streams lately. I got to go back and watch the replay. I wasn't able to watch them live. Boo, Florida. That's okay. Thursday I fly to Georgia, and then I fly home Friday night or Saturday. I'll be cold with you soon. Look at this. It doesn't even look like I went to Jamaica. There's like no tan. There's nothing. I'm just a northern pale white boy. Yes, the ruin. You've offended Tom F. How dare you? Bree, I'm good. I hope everyone's doing well. It's Monday. Hopefully your Monday was good. I've got quite a week of tile ahead of me, and hopefully I'll get through the tile and onto something else before I fly to Georgia. So for Georgia, I've got a job coming up, but the job's been delayed a bit, but the materials I ordered are showing up this week, and there's not really anything I can do about that. So tomorrow morning I'm renting a storage unit in Georgia, and then I'm gonna call the shipping company and set up the delivery for Friday morning, and then Thursday I fly to Georgia. Oh, cool! How was it, Tom F? Then I'm gonna fly to Georgia on Thursday, take the delivery Friday, and then hopefully fly home Friday night, and if not Saturday morning, because I got things I got to do in Ohio this weekend. Oh, but funny note. So I'm so cheap. That I'm gonna sleep in the store that I'll be working on. Just one night, just bring a tiny air mattress and something resembling a blanket. Oh, there you go. So I have to ask the stupid question because I haven't been paying attention. That wasn't for Epic Universe, right? That's not open yet. Hey there, Lucky Shelby. How are you doing? That's not Epic, right? That's not open. That was just regular Universal. I think they should make the wands into flamethrowers. I think that would be fun. Not yet. It's not okay. I didn't think so. So you guys just did normal. But I mean, those Harry Potter lands. Like, I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but those lands are incredible. Like the theming on those lands. Ay. And that Hagrid's motorcycle roller coaster. That thing's cool. Adam, I hope you enjoy it. When is that even? I don't even know. Is that this week? Is that next week? I don't pay attention to such things. Okay, cool. New wands for you. Nice. But yeah, they should have silly string wands and flamethrower wands and what other wands? And I need a wand that I could hide whiskey in. That would be fun too. A flask wand. There we go. Stephen Noon, thanks for stopping in, Stephen. Great to see you. If you have any questions, feel free. I will talk a little bit about Jamaica. I disappeared there for 6 weeks, and so I was doing volunteer work. I was working on a churchy type building, and it was a remodel. It was not. Is it? Is it already tomorrow? There you go. Um, I'm not into any holidays, so I don't. I never know what's going on. But so yeah, I was working on a churchy type building, and there's a lot of. Oh, there you go, rum to whiskey. That's hilarious. Ooh, wonderful. Hello, young. Well, I will wave back then. Thanks for putting me on the TV. Young E. That sounds like a great nickname. I'm gonna just start calling him that. That'll be good. Um, yeah, and it wasn't. So there's a lot of disaster relief in Jamaica. You know that they were hit by they get hit by hurricanes just like Florida and some of the other southern stuff. And but this one was actually a planned remodel. And but it was funny. I got asked months ago to go do it, and I was told that I would be working on tile. And due to weather and shipping delays, by the time I got there, they were still working on the roof. What's the good news, Adam? And so I was in a fall protection harness for 4 weeks and working on scaffolding and working in rafters. It wasn't until the last 2 days of my 6 weeks where I had a grinder and I was grinding the floor, prepping it for tile. So the schedule was a little bit off, but that's okay. Honestly, I think I had more fun what I was doing than I would have had if I had just been on tile the whole time. Plus, that's hard on your knees. I mean, then I had good knee pads there, but that's hard on your knees. But it was very fun. Had enough sunscreen. I never really didn't burn ever. I had a little bit of a tan, but you can see kind of my couple of weeks in Ohio sucked the tan right out of me. Cool. So when is Bricksburg supposed to open? That sounds awesome. And Cedar Point is getting a new. I don't know if you've ever been to Cedar Point, Adam. Cedar Point's getting a new coaster this year, and hopefully Top Thrill Dragster will open for more than 2 weeks this year as well. So possibility at two new experiences at Cedar Point this year. I think the Siren something. I can't remember the name of the new coaster, but it's one of those ones where trusses or rafters. Um, 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 Trusses and hip roofs. There was on average, and this is both out of country people and local Jamaicans. There was probably like 20 people on site every day, at least 20 to 30, depending on what was going on. And me and Mrs. Izzo, we were in a house with another couple from California. And so yeah, so there was a little mix of Americans and Jamaicans. It was very cool. But anyway, trusses and hip roofs. Yeah, I know a little bit more about hip roofs than I did. Maybe for late spring, early summer, but stay tuned though. Okay, cool, cool. That'll be fun. Yeah, Adam does a lot of California um, coasters and parks. Let's see what else. What else? What was I talking about? I don't remember. But so someone told me before I went to Jamaica that the um, food is wonderful and the driving is insane, and I agree with that statement, having lived there for 6 weeks. I did drive once, but it was like at 9 o'clock at night, well after rush hour. And so in Jamaica, they drive on the left, compared to us Americans driving on the right. So I didn't find it hard to stay on the correct side of the road. But yeah, and we were really thankful. She only had 2 afternoons where her migraines took her out. Other than that, she had a really good 6 weeks, thank goodness. And but yeah, so I didn't have any trouble staying on the left-hand side of the road, but I couldn't signal for the life of me because on all my cars, this is the signal, this is windshield wipers, and so I kept going to signal and I would turn on the windshield wipers. So that was my only issue in driving. But during the day, and especially rush hour, it can get a little bit crazy. And cars with red license plates, that's a taxi, and apparently they're extra special crazy, and you try to stay away from those people. Um, it was also very neat. Like, so the two languages there, English and Jamaican Creole, or they call it patois down there. Um, if a Jamaican spoke slowly enough, I could get the patois, no problem. It seems like it's a combination of English and Portuguese, kind of. Um, but yeah, if they spoke slowly enough, I got most of the patois. But most of them, a native speaking his own language is usually pretty fast. So not all of them spoke slow enough for me to understand. But when someone took the time and did that, I could actually understand it. I don't think I could ever speak it, at least not for a long time, not without some practice. But listening to it was pretty neat. Um, let's see what else. Oh, but it felt like there was a third language because they and it was real strange. Like, as crazy as the traffic was, it's almost like they were all cooperating very well, and like they were constantly honking, like little sharp repetitive honks, and it almost seemed like a language. It's like, hey, I'm coming in there, or hey, thanks for letting me in, or I'm going across this way. I don't know. It's almost like they were speaking a third language with those horns. So it was kind of neat, man. And they had some real neat. Did I see a Honda? They had some neat Hondas and Toyotas and something else. I can't remember what else, but they had some neat cars that you don't see ever in the U.S. And I believe that most of them either were originally built for Africa and Japan. And I know I saw some Japanese in some of the cars, like on the backup cams and all that time. There you go. Handle it, Tom. We'll see you when you're back. And but Honda and Toyota had some really cool vans that I would love to get my hands on. I mean, I like my Ford Econoline. I mean, it gets me where I need to go. But yeah, those cool Honda and Toyota vans. Ooh, that would be fun to have one of those. Stuff you don't see in the States normally. Let's see. Okay, some of the fun things I got to do. We did get to do some fun things. I loved the food. The food was amazing. So I'm a huge fan of curry anything. I'm a huge fan of jerk anything. So we had jerk chicken, we had jerk pork, we had um, in the curry we had curry chicken, curry goat. Uh, so various iterations of all that. The one thing, I've never been to like an all inclusive Jamaican resort, so I don't know if it's any different there. But when you're there with the locals, there's a few more bones than you're used to as an American. So at first I'm like trying to pick the bones out, and then by the end of the 6 weeks, I was just doing it Jamaican style. I would just throw stuff in my mouth and spit out the bones. So some of the more unusual things I ate, well, the curried goat, I liked it. It was good. How would I describe it? It was very reminiscent of pork to me, but a little gamier, so almost like pork and venison somehow. Um, and then I had oxtail. Oxtail was delicious. That also had the bones in it. So I might not have eaten these two items if I hadn't had them like on my last week there. But I actually had pig's tail, which was weird. It was like little cylindrical bits of meat with bone in it, like vertebrae, and pop it in your mouth, eat off the meat, spit out the bone. Um, yeah, and then the last weird thing that I ate was the Friday before we flew home, and I had chicken foot soup. And the soup, the broth was delicious. Like all the spices in it was delicious, and it had potatoes, it had beans in it, stuff like that. But then it had chicken feet in it, and I just did what the Jamaicans were doing. I was popping the chicken foot in my mouth, sucking the meat off, and spitting the bones out, and having a good time. So I don't know if you get to experience any of that if you were like at a resort there in Jamaica. But I had a good time with the food. Oh, and we love the patties, the beef patties, the chicken patties. Those are good. So it's like a folded up pastry, usually full of meat. Although they had cheese ones, and they had some. What was the vegetable called? I want to say like callaloo. It's like a green. It's like spinach and kale had a baby. But that was pretty good too. But yeah, any of the patties I liked. And so when we came home, we looked up a local Jamaican market, and totally went there and got some stuff. Like apparently we were missing some of it. We needed to have like a crazy Jamaican dinner before we got back to being Americans. So we had a bunch of patties we heated up. We had curry chicken, made some jerk chicken. Yeah, it is fun, and I'm being a little more adventurous than I used to be when I was younger. Definitely was a little more adventurous, and I'm glad I did it. Okay, so some of the fun things we got to do. Oh, well, so in the winter, apparently where we were working is the hottest spot in the island. Gets the most sun, is the hottest spot. It was we were in the city. Actual city was Nagohead, and it's in the Portmore area, which is about 40 minutes out of Kingston, and so it would be a 23-minute wait for a callback. Nice, yeah. They don't want to give you your package will probably show up before you get a chance to yell at anyone. I hate calling anything like UPS. It's not fun. So we were in Portmore, and the actual city was called Nagahead, and then our house was in a place called Cumberland. So all these neat little names, and then and then oh, so when we'd get to the job site, like 7 o'clock, it would be 75 degrees, very comfortable, and by 10 o'clock it was 90 degrees. By noon it was 95. It was rarely under 95, and rarely any cloud cover, rarely any rain. So I consider it a small miracle, and I thank God that I was able to work like I did in the sun like that, because I am not usually a heat boy. Give me some AC, give me some snow. I am not usually able to work in weather like that, but it made it through, so that was fun. And then so some of the fun things. Oh, that's right. I was talking about fun things. So that's the hottest spot apparently in the winter is where we were at. So we got to do some good swimming. We were on a private beach, a public beach. Then we went to Ocho Rios, which is one of the more touristy areas. Right, Lynette? I was trying to melt. And then park entrance as I'm refurbishing it. Pick sent to your DMs. I will check it out later, Adam, and get back with you on that. Absolutely. So Ocho Rios, we went there. I think we went there twice. Once to the private beach. And when I say private, it's just you have to pay to get in there. So it's as opposed to a public beach. But that was beautiful. That was fun. And then much later in our trip, we went back there, but we went back at night to a different beach that has some sort of bioluminescent algae. So when you'd swim in it, the water would glow blue. It was crazy. So we had to pay. And you couldn't just jump in and swim. You had to pay for a tour. So we paid for a tour. It wasn't that expensive. It was like $25 a pop. And they took us out to an area, and we saw like the wake from the boat turning blue. But they took us far out so that we would be as far from some of the hotels as we could. Then we would swim in the water. And I'll eventually post some pictures. They're not the most flattering of me, but I don't care. You'll get a kick out of the blue. So I'll eventually post some of those pictures for you guys to see. I'll probably make like a video montage and post it as a YouTube video, or a photo montage, post it as a YouTube video, so then you guys can see it. What else did we do? We did go into the Blue Mountains. We went hiking several times. And then we also went to Portland, Jamaica one weekend, and we got to stay in an Airbnb, and it was right on the river. The sound was wonderful. Like you went to bed listening to the gentle rapids of the river, and wow, that was beautiful. And then spent the next day swimming and eating stuff. So there, I tried salt fish, which is a staple in Jamaica, apparently, salt fish. And it, in general, I think the salt fish comes from like Scandinavia area, like Norway, Sweden. But it's basically like a salt dried fish, and then they cook it and rehydrate it and cook it. And I had it as a breakfast, which I guess is semi-common. Oh wow, there you go. And so that was good. I'm not super into fish stuff, so it was fishy. What are you gonna say? It was salty and fishy, and I had it in like a stew with some beans and stuff. Um, and so it was good. I'm glad I tried it. I don't need to necessarily revisit that one. And then we also Yeah, we did some really nice river walking and swimming. There was a couple of rocks that were big enough to jump off of safely. There was a waterfall you could climb up to, and then kind of just almost get a massage. Just let the waterfall beat down on you, on your shoulders and back and stuff. I did find a sword on the beach, but the people I was with said that um, probably someone left that on purpose and they're coming back for it. Oh, did I say sword? I mean, it was a machete. But it's funny. A lot of the people in Jamaica call a machete a cutlass. So in my head, I'm a pirate. I'm like, ooh, I found a sword on the beach. I'm a pirate now. But my pirate career did not last very long. Okay, so there was whiskey there, but there wasn't a huge variety, and I had this crazy optimistic dream where I was going to go into a into a liquor store in a bad neighborhood, because a lot of the best times hunting for whiskeys, I've been in pretty rough neighborhoods, but I just keep a smile on my face, and then people are more scared of me than I am of them, because they're like, "What is this idiot doing? Why is he smiling at me?" Um, but I had this dream that I was going to go to a liquor store in a bad neighborhood in Jamaica and somehow find like a dusty pappy that the guy hadn't sold and didn't know what he had. But of course, that did not happen. So I went down with a bottle of Buffalo Trace, and while we were there, we got some scotch and some whiskey, just some regular stuff. But of course, we were in Jamaica, so we got to try the rum. So I really like the Appleton Estate rums, and they've got some that are aged in barrels. So had a pour of an 8, had a pour of a 12, bought a 15, and actually bought a second one to bring home. Had a pour of the Appleton 21 year, and that was pretty good too. Then of course they have overproof rums as well. And those are usually clear. So the barrel aged ones take on a color kind of like the whiskey, and it was interesting. Like a lot of the notes were similar to what you see me do on the channel with the whiskey anyway, but I could always tell that had been made with the sugar cane, that it was actually rum and not some sort of whiskey. So that was kind of fun. And then so we had a couple of overproof ones, and those generally you don't sip those. Those you usually mix with a mixer. So one of the mixers down there is called Ting, Ting, and it's like a grapefruit soda. So that was good. We'd add some Ting. Oh, and I I invented the Jamaican pothole. So basically, it's the same thing as a car bomb, except I used the Jamaican stout, and I used rum cream, and I used um, rum for the shot. And we were just doing half ones. We were trying to keep it in moderation, try not to get too tanked ever. But those, and it was just as delicious as a car bomb. I don't know, because like that just intensifies all the flavors of the rum and the stout. It's good stuff. Izzo crew, Brianna. Brianna is part of the Izzo crew. Um, when I was there, I tried something called Octomore, and supposedly that's the most heavily peated Scotch in the world, and I found it quite good. I didn't honestly, I didn't find it overly peated, but I just thought it tasted delicious. Cool. Dana, thanks for being here. It's good to see you, bro. Um, what else? Okay, what else have I talked about? We talked about rum. We talked about the lack of whiskey. So I don't. So at a resort. Nice. I'm doing okay. Good job finishing your homework. Um, I don't have any homework right now, but I've got plenty of work I'm going to do. Probably after the stream, I'll probably keep working on paperwork or something. Um, Something that just popped in my head. Silicone Dave. Cool. It's good to see you, Dave. I need to catch up on some of your shorts. I haven't watched a Silicone Dave video in a long time. What was I going to talk about? Something else about Jamaica. Yes, you are. That's okay. What are you going to be when you grow up, Bree? I'm going to be either an astronaut or a rodeo clown. I haven't decided yet. But I also don't plan on growing up. Any winter bobsledding. So funny story. The first weekend we were there, we watched some Cool Runnings just for fun. That's okay, Bree. Not everyone can. So interesting Izzo story. I've known I wanted to be some sort of carpenter since I was in kindergarten, and I didn't realize that until a few years ago. My mom gave me a box of stuff from when I was a kid, and in there, she had made me something that I requested for dress like what you want to be like when you grow up, and it was a carpenter belt. So apparently, I've always been just a sick person wanting to build things out of dead trees. But that's okay, Bree. Not everyone needs to know what they're doing. Go try some stuff. Mrs. Izzo's had a quite varied career. She's been a scientist. She's been a jeweler. She's worked at Target. Um, she's an interesting woman. Um, New videos coming soon. Cool, Adam. Good job. Oh, Stephen Noon. I'm trying to be more on Instagram. I gotta go check out some Stephen Noon stuff too. He's usually got good posts. All right, so what else? Well, we got onto the subject of rum. So let's go ahead. So these did not come from Jamaica, but I follow a YouTube channel called SLB Drinks, and they actually did a rum pick, and they got two different ones here. So I'm going to look and see what the differences are. I could see Lynette having many careers. I could see that. All right, so we've got Panama rum, weeded, single barrel. So I assume that means that it's like rum finished in a weeded bourbon barrel. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got rum finished in a weeder, and they finished it for 9 years in a weeder barrel. Then let's see what else I got. Oh, okay. Then we've got another one, also aged 9 years, finished in an ex-rye whiskey barrel. So we've got rum that's been aged in whiskey and in wheat. So let's go ahead and do this. And of course, I'm going to record the neck pours, so you'll see the neck pours probably months before they actually come out. Yeah, what are these running anyway? Oh, you know what? Before I do that. So these are like 110 proof. So I'll show you the other stuff that I've picked up. So this I'm hoping is going to be a good budget bourbon. It was only $40. So I do like Penelope. And Penelope is always a 4-grain mash bill. So Penelope will always have corn, rye, wheat, and barley. I'm pretty sure that's it. And but this one's wheated, so evidently in this mash bill for this one, they went a little heavier with the proportion of wheat in it. And that's only $40. But let's see, what's the alcohol in it? So it's 95 proof. So maybe we aren't starting with rum, because I should probably do these in order from least to most alcohol content. All right, so then this one, so my local store here in Naples got a decent relationship with the guy. So he let me try a taste of this before I bought it, and it was fantastic. And Lynette, this is something you might like. So I'll have to make sure I send you a sample. But they're calling it marshmallow toast. It's some of their straight bourbon whiskey toasted. And it is barrel strength. So this is also 110 proof. So we're gonna set that with the rum. And then same fella, he had this interesting thing. So it's by Short Barrel, and I think I have a Short Barrel at home. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. But they're calling this the Bee's Knees, and double barrel toasted straight bourbon whiskey finished in honey casks. So, and it's also kind of neat. They listed where the honey came from. So this one that I got here in Florida, the honey also came from Florida. So this one should be pretty good too. Now what's this one? 106.8. All right, so we're gonna start. So I thought I was gonna start with the rum, but we're gonna start with the weeder. We'll do the weeder, then we'll do the honey, then we'll do the Penelope, so we're gonna do the rum last, then we'll switch to the rum. Rum. What did everyone have for dinner? I had some leftover steak. Client whose job this is down here was kind enough to make steaks yesterday, and trying to eat less because I managed to lose some weight just before and during Jamaica, so I'm trying not to put that weight back on. So so I actually had plenty of leftovers for dinner today. All right. Okay, so you guys get to watch me record a neck pour. I hope it's not too boring for you. Yeah, I gotta remember. I gotta remember to send Lynette. I think I owe Lynette something from 250 subs anyway. So I gotta remember to send Lynette something. I'll definitely include some of that marshmallow toasted in your care package, Lynette. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's place. Normally there's barrels behind me, even if I'm in Florida or Ohio, but the construction has taken over part of where I was set up, so nothing in the background today. But what we got here is a neck pour, and I'm hoping it's going to be a nice budget pour because it's Penelope, which I like Penelope anyway. It's a weeded one. I haven't tried this yet, and it's only $40. So let's see if it's something worth getting or if we shouldn't worry about it. I did not see that, Lynette. I need to be on Discord more too. Still to be determined. Breakfast for dinner. That sounds awesome. That's going to be very confusing to anyone watching the neck pour, but I can edit that out. Okay, just wanted to try it, let my body get acclimated. It wasn't my, yeah, there you go, silicone. I like it. All right, so let's take a look at this bottle, and then we'll get back to tasting notes. So, straight bourbon whiskey weeded, non-chill filtered, proof 95, alcohol by volume 47.5. Government warning, barcode. All right, here we go. What do we got here? Penelope weeded bourbon embodies our commitment to craftsmanship and versatility. With rich sweetness and a hint of spice, it offers a taste for all tastes, whether you're sipping it neat or mixing it into a cocktail. Blended as a cornerstone of our collection, Penelope Weeded delivers an unforgettable bourbon experience. So there you go. That's the sales pitch. All right, so let me go ahead and actually give you some notes this time. So I kind of get the wheatfield note that I get with Irish whiskeys, but it's like a wheat field next to a honeysuckle vine because it's got some honey-like sweetness there, but it doesn't smell like a true honey. There is some light red fruit in there. Not as dark as cherries, maybe like raspberry, maybe strawberry. Honestly, it's reminding me of Maker's Mark, which is not surprising because Maker's Mark is a wheated bourbon. Mm-hmm. So all the notes on the nose come through to the palate, but then there is a lot of spice on the palate, and not in an overpowering way. I would still sweet is still the foremost note. On the spices, it's like a bit of cinnamon, bit of nutmeg, maybe some black pepper on the back end. So it's a little more complex than a Maker's Mark, but it's not a huge step up. But I mean, for $40, that's kind of cool. It's worth trying once, and maybe it'll be your jam. And of course, we'll find out as it oxidizes. We'll see if the taste changes at all. But I don't know. Like, if your budget doesn't allow $40, I would say just go get a Maker's Mark. But this weeded is pretty good. I'm glad I bought one, and I'll get back with you and let you know how this opens up. Let's go ahead and do one more more taste, just in case. I am getting bubblegum in everything lately. So the second nosing, get just a little hint of Bazooka Joe. I don't know why that's showing up in everything for me lately. I mean, I'm not mad at it. I like the nose. A little bit of marshmallow added into that palate. That was kind of good. All right, but we'll see how this opens up. Thanks for hanging out at Izzo's place. Okay, one neck pour is done. All right, thanks for that. Let me catch up on the chat now. No, that's super cool. Bourbon butterscotch milk stout. That sounds wonderful. I'll have to find one. Oh, Adam, you got it. I will check out the Discord after it. One more taste for science. For science. But yeah, this is pretty good. I hadn't seen any up north yet in Ohio. I was pleasantly surprised to see it just on the shelf here. It was the last one, but I was pleasantly surprised to find it on the shelf because I almost bought it online, which would have added, shipping to it. So glad I found it at just about retail anyway. Cool. Recorded previously on a live broadcast. All right. So now we're gonna hit the short barrel, the bee's knees. There's nothing about a bunny in here at all. I don't know why I said bunny. Yeah, I don't know. I think I was self-conscious. I didn't want to take too much time away from you guys being able to watch the live stream. Otherwise, 3 tastes would have been good. Give me 3 tastes. Give me 3 tastes. I'll at least get through the plastic before I hit record. So I have the feeling that this is what I was hoping, because I don't know if you remember the video, or honestly, I don't remember if I did a final edit and post it, but here in Florida, I've got a barrel, also like a tiny barrel, and I aged some stuff in it, but I left it in too long, and it got a bit smoky, and so then I took that barrel and I filled it with honey, and then emptied the honey out, and then put Woodford Reserve double oak in it. Actually, was it the double oak? Yeah, it was the double oak, and it didn't get quite as sweet as I'd hoped. So I'm wondering if this is going to be closer to what I was hoping for with that little experiment. Apiary. I love the name of a beehive. It's the apiary. Yeah. So here in Naples, on this property, there was a dead palm tree out back, and when it was, and I've been actually begging the client to take it down for years because I was afraid it was going to fall and hurt someone or damage some property, and so there were woodpeckers living in the top of it. There was a there was an osprey that would hang out on top of it from time to time, and then in one of the hurricanes, I think Ian, the top snapped off it, which got rid of the birds. The birds were no longer interested in it. But then a bee colony started in the dead oak tree or palm tree, and that was super cool. And we had someone look at it. It was a very non-aggressive honeybee. It was and it was a very healthy colony. So it had I don't know how far into the tree the the beehive went, but it had honeycombs coming out. There was like a big, huge honeycomb growing on the back of the tree, and it was super cool looking. But then Hurricane Milton took out the whole tree finally. So no more bees, but it was neat to see them. I thought that maybe by sometime next year I might have to learn to be a beekeeper, which could have been fun. But anyway, so that's a long story that you didn't need to hear because we got the short barrel here. But if you like the story, then thank you and you're welcome. All right, gonna do another neck pour. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. You might be watching me live while I'm recording this. Who knows? Give me a shout out in the comments if you got to see it live. But what we're doing here, we got a neck pour of a short barrel. This one's called the bee's knees. You ever hear anyone use that phrase? That's an older phrase. Izzo will say it sometimes. I'm a throwback at times. This is apparently the 4th batch of the bee's knees. So why is it bee's knees? Well, let me go ahead and nose and taste this. Good pop. Good pop. Forgot to pay attention to the pop on the Penelope. I don't know if anyone remembers what that pop was like. Oh, and something I've been trying to pay attention to lately is color too. So let's look at this color. So it's kind of a little cloudy, and it kind of does have a golden hue to it. So I don't know if I'd be cool enough to guess that it would had honey properties without having just read the barrel, but that's kind of neat. Ooh, that's nice. That's tasty. All right, let's let that glass sit for a minute. We'll look at the barrel, the bottle. You know what I mean? Ooh, man, that just keeps going. All right, Short Barrel is the brand. The Bee's Knees 4, double barrel toasted, straight bourbon whiskey finished in honey casks. 106.8 proof, 750 milliliter, alcohol by volume 53.1. This thing's good. I don't think the guy had another one. I might have to go see if he's got another one. I'll go tomorrow. Bottled by Short Barrel Bourbon, Norgus, Georgia? Norcross, Georgia, distilled in Kentucky and Indiana. Shortbarrelbourbon.com. Okay, so it was bottled in Georgia by Short Barrel, but it was distilled in Kentucky and Indiana. So what that tells me is that this has MGP distillery distillate in it, and then something from Tennessee. If it's from Tennessee, it could be George Dickel. What else could it be from Tennessee? There's something else in Tennessee. It probably isn't Jack Daniels. It's either George Dickel or there's one other one in Tennessee, and I can't think of it off the top of my head. Now, I like a lot of stuff that has George Dickel in it, but George Dickel also has like a sour note. Some people describe it as Flintstone vitamins that I don't like. I did not notice it yet. So let's go ahead and get in here. I'll give you some notes. So much sweetness, and honey is the main component. But I think this may have had a decent rye content because I'm getting just little hints of winter mint in the background, and I usually get that if I'm sipping a rye or a bourbon that has a higher rye content. Stupid Bazooka Joe gum is in there. That's so weird. I should go get a pack of it. Maybe I'm just craving it. You also get a little bit of smoke, a little bit of barrel char, kind of, because it was finished in 2 different barrels. It's pretty nice on the nose. So this is more for if you prefer a sweeter whiskey. That's interesting. The palate's very complex. The nose is just mostly sweet and is very good, but it's not very complex. The palate starts out sweet, but then some spices start showing up. Then in the middle, there was like a little bit of bread and butter, which I always like. I always do like that buttery note. And so there's 2 main notes I get from George Dickel is bread and butter and then that sour note. There is a hint of that sour note. There's George Dickel in here. This is MGP and George Dickel finished in honey casks. That's funny. But it's in the background enough that it's not turning me off to the pour. It's a fantastic pour. So I am not smart enough to have remembered how much I paid for this. So editing Izzo, we'll put the price here. But whatever I paid, let's see. So based on what else I bought that day, the most this can be is $90, and it was probably less. But editing Izzo will check, and he will put down the price. And like I said, I might go back tomorrow and try to buy another one before he sells out. So something very neat about it. It's did it say non-chill filtered? I can't remember. I can't remember if it said it was non-chill filtered or not. But it's very, and I got no good way of showing you. It's kind of cloudy, and sometimes people don't like that. So it's like it's kind of cloudy. It's got a lot of sediment in it. But you know what? I'm here for it. As far as I'm concerned, that just gives you some flavor, having the sediment in there. All right, let's go back in. We'll see if it changes up, if we get any other notes. And I will give a shout out to Lynette, whose aunt was a flapper dancer. Pretty cool. Sometimes on the second nosing, I get weird things. So the sweetness is still there. But I also got bacon. So I got like honey covered bacon. I don't know. And I've never seen honey covered bacon. I've heard of maple covered bacon. I've heard of chocolate covered bacon. But On nosing number 2, there's a savory aspect to it, and it's bacon. That's hilarious. It's not turning me away though. Still love it. Can you guys hear the background noises? Some kind person is washing dishes in the background. So on the second pallet, notes are the same, but this time at the end, I noticed some of the effects of that second barrel that this was in. I get a drying sensation, and I get oak notes. Absolutely. Chalky cracked tooth with swollen gums kind of note. Yeah, but in a good way. Or you could always say big league chew. That would be less jaw cracky. That's awesome. Okay, see, coming back in for the third nosing, bacon's gone. So sometimes on the second nosing, I get weird notes, and sometimes they disappear. There's no bacon anymore. All right, so if you come across a short barrel and it's in your budget, I'd say go ahead and get it. I'm gonna say this is between $60 and $90, and of course, editing Izzo already told you exactly what it cost. But this thing's kind of wonderful. I'm gonna go back to the store and try to get it back up and see how it goes. But we'll see. You never know. Maybe it'll oxidize. Maybe it'll be terrible. Maybe it'll be better. But we'll check on that later. And thanks for hanging out at Izzo's place. Your dish. Oh, yep, I understood. Oh, that reminds me of a terrible joke. I'll text it to you, Silicon Dave. I won't put it on the air. I'll give you a different terrible joke though. Let's see. What do I got for you? We were telling bad jokes all through Jamaica. What do we got? What do we got? Nope, that one's offensive. Not going to tell that one. I'll think about it. All right, so that's a short barrel. All right, so before I get into the next neck pour, which is the other Penelope, anyway, got any fun plans coming up? I got after being in Jamaica. Oh, I'm trying to use my. I don't know what I'm trying to do. Never mind. After being in Jamaica, I have to try to get some work done and make some money because I didn't make any money. All I did was spend money in Jamaica. I didn't make any. So I have to scramble and make some money. That's all right. It's got to happen. Yeah. So this week, well, you know, I used to do like the Monday planning sessions on live. So I'll kind of do this week. So this week I'm tile today. I'm tile tomorrow. I'm hoping that maybe by the end of the evening tomorrow, I'll be done with the tile. Worst case scenario is if I don't feel like I can grout it yet, I'll grout it Wednesday morning. And then what's the next step after that? After that, so I'm doing the tile so that way that room I could start moving stuff into that room so that way I can clear off 2 other rooms so I can finish the flooring in the main house. Lynette, thank you so much for staying as long as you did. I really appreciate that. I know your schedule. You're early to bed and early to rise kind of person. So thanks for hanging out for a little bit, and I'll make sure we do an earlier stream sometime for you. Yeah, so Wednesday I'm hoping to be moving stuff onto the floor that I'm working on now. He's back. Was out listening in the car. Oh, funny. Yep, no worries. No worries. Got to keep the teenagers happy. It's understandable. Otherwise, they're so loud and whiny if you don't. Just kidding. I don't know if your kids are whiny. I was whiny. But yeah, so Wednesday, I might not be able to get into doing any of the flooring, but I want to be able to clear out those rooms so that way we can do flooring. Because then I go to Georgia for 2 days, and then I go back to Ohio for a week, and then I'll be back down here. So crazy life, but I can't complain. Can't complain. I'd rather be weird, crazy, busy, traveling life than not have work. Yeah, it's been a weird year. All right. Anyway, where were we? Welcome back, Stephen Noon. Adios, Lynette. Say hi to Bill for us. I can't believe Bill's not watching. I should text him. Just kidding. Do I have any other stories? Oh, I was going to tell you a joke, but then, comedy can be offensive. I don't need to put anything online that's going to stay forever online. There's got to be something, though. All right, well, I'll tell you my favorite joke ever. And very few people get the joke. I end up explaining the joke a lot, and that's fine, but it's still my favorite joke. So if you don't get it, don't worry about it. I'll wait a little bit and then I'll explain it. So, what do you get when you cross a cow and an octopus? A cow and an octopus. What do you get? I'm gonna let you think for a little bit. You're welcome to put some guests. I can't say that word right now. Guess. You're allowed to put some guesses in the chat. I'll get the plastic off whatever we're drinking next while you're guessing. What do you get when you cross a cow and an octopus? It's a terrible joke. You're gonna hate me after I say the punchline and then have to explain it to most of you because it's stupid. Yeah, thank goodness I didn't try to do this while recording it live, right? There we go. Okay, one last time. What do you get when you cross a cow and an octopus? You get a quick meeting with the ethics committee and you lose all your funding. And I love that joke. It's so dumb. So, in case you don't get it, a mollusk. Ooh, I like that. That's pretty good. So, in case you don't get it, you created a monster in the lab. And so, the ethics committee is reviewing you. You lost your funding. Stop creating monsters. What's wrong with you? So, that's all. It's dumb. It's dumb. I'll give you another dumb one. See, I mean, actually, they're hyper intelligent, but because no one gets the joke. Oh wait, we don't want to open that yet. I'm gonna do that for the video, because no one gets it, because it's like too far up on the level, I guess. Anyway, so here's a math joke. So I've got root beer, and I put it in a square glass, and now I have beer. Anyone get it? Anyone get it? Square root of root beer is beer. It's just, yeah, it's dumb. Don't worry about it. If you didn't get it, that's fine. If you're laughing, I feel sorry for you because that means you have similar problems to me. All right, we're going to try this marshmallow toast. And I should have done this quicker. I know Lynette would love this one, but I'll definitely have to send her a sample. If you're over 21 and you're interested in samples and you're not local, because I know my Ruin and my Dana are local. And they've been at the speakeasy. But if you would like to do a flight with Izzo, email me at heyizzo@yahoo.com and send me your address. Prove to me you're 21, and I'll send you a flight of whiskey, and we'll do it together over Zoom or a stream or something. All right, let's go ahead and do this one. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. Thirsty Thursday. It's time to do a neck pour. So today I have another Penelope, and I really enjoy Penelopes. I haven't had one that I have not liked, and the fella I bought this from, local to Naples, it's Pepper's Wine and Spirits. The guy in there, Marty, he's a good dude. He gave me a taste of this because he had an open one there at the bar to try to tempt people into buying it, and it's fantastic. So I went ahead and bought one. Straight bourbon whiskey, toasted, barrel strength. But I love the name, Marshmallow Toast, and it does totally have that note. So let's check it out. On the neck pour. That was a good pop. On the neck pour. So the bottle he gave me a sip of had been opened. So for all I know, it'll taste different than what we're about to experience. But maybe not. We'll find out. So I'm going to nose it and taste it first without telling you anything about it. Just want to get accustomed to the whiskey. Okay, it tastes just as good as I remember, or smells just as good as I remember. It's a little oakier than I remember, but I'll give you all the full notes in a little bit. Let's go and check out the bottle. We'll let this glass sit for a second. All right, so Penelope bourbon. It's a private batch. Generally, Penelope is 4-grain, so we'll see if there's anything in here that changes my mind about that. But they're calling it marshmallow toast. So it's been in a toasted barrel. Char 1, heavy toast, whatever that means. Proof's 110, so 55% alcohol by volume if you prefer. Oops, where's my flashlight? Because I can't see in these low light conditions. One of these days I actually have to finally build a studio. Penelope Toasted Series explores the depth and complexity different char and toast levels have on our flavor profile. After full maturation, we finish straight bourbon whiskey in new charred American oak barrels. Alcohol by volume 55%, age 4 years, non-chill filtered, 750 milliliter. Okay. Yeah, so these, if you see these on the shelf, they're toasted stuff, you'll probably see different levels of char and different levels of toasting. And if I remember correctly, if I understood it correctly, I believe toasted is less flame, more time, and charred is more flame, less time. So apparently, in order to have both, did it say it was finished in a second barrel? I can't remember. Okay, yeah, they finish it in new charred American oak barrels. So they must have toasted the first barrel. So a little less heat, a little more time, and then they stuck it in a second barrel that had a char. So more heat, less time. So that gets it, different flavors are going to pop up because of that. So, and honestly, I haven't had a Penelope that I haven't liked yet. I don't know if you could hear the cat. Mr. Phibb is meowing in the background. Maybe I can tempt him over to the camera. Let's go ahead and get back into this note. I mean, kind of the only notes is marshmallow and barrel char. And that's not a problem in my book. Come here, Mr. Phibb. What's up? You gonna come over here? If you come close enough, I'm gonna snatch you. We're gonna show you to the internet. Yeah. All right, hang on. I'm gonna try to snag a cat. Come here. Come here. Well, let me pick you up. Are you just gonna? Nope. He's gonna run. Okay, almost. He's a very beautiful cat. I'll get a video of him someday for you. And it sounds like he's scratching on furniture. Are you allowed to do that? Mrs. Izzo will kill him if she knows he's scratching on our couch. So it's mostly just the toasted marshmallow and barrel char, but there is almost just a hint of something savory in there. I wouldn't say it's outright bacon. I would say but it is like meat-like. I'll have to think about that and try to get you a specific note for it. But there's just a hint of something savory amidst the toasted and the marshmallow. It's all marshmallow on the front, and then it's all barrel char in the back. But it's very good. It's very good. Again, I've forgotten how much I paid for this. Editing Izzo will put the actual price in here. I would say it's between $60 and $90, just like the short barrel. But I'm not positive on that. So, but it's very good. You know what? If it's $90, I don't know if I want to buy a backup at $90. It's very good. If it's closer to $60, I might be tempted to go buy a backup of it. I'll have to check that price. But if you like sweeter notes, but you also like a Woodford Reserve Double Oak, if you like something that's been finished twice, this might be a good one for you to try if you can find it. I don't know if this is particular to Florida. I don't know how the liquor store got it, but it's pretty good. If it's in your budget, I would say it's a buy. It might not be like a buy multiples, but it's a buy. Let's go ahead and nose it one more time. I don't know what that savory note is. It's very light in there, just floating in the background. Got a hint of like a honeysuckle in with the toasted oak and the toasted barrel, or toasted marshmallow and toasted barrel. Hmm. There's just enough spice that you can almost imagine a graham cracker in there. Now there's no chocolate, so we're not drinking a s'more. But there's just enough spice. It's like a marshmallow and a graham cracker that you forgot to bring the Hershey bars for. I've been forgetting to talk about mouthfeel and finish, length of finish. Doesn't have a noticeably oily mouthfeel, but the finish is long. It just keeps going, which is fun. Just sparkly in the mouth for a long time. All right, well, we'll let this open up and we'll send a sample to Lynette and we'll see if anything changes as this bottle opens up. But thank you so much for hanging out for this neck pour, and I will see you next time here at Izzo's place. Wow. Well, I'm glad the guitar was good then. I'm glad the guitar was good. May I be nosy and ask how you won it? And if you don't want to put that in the chat, that's fine. I'm just curious. And we need pictures eventually. I actually was time-lapsing myself working on the tile, so I will have eventually a time-lapse video of what I did today and what I'll be doing tomorrow and maybe a little bit on Wednesday. So time-lapse makes it look so easy. So easy. Cleanse the palate a little bit. Oh, cool. It's a PRS. Okay, very cool. Okay. So I don't know if you could hear the fan from my laptop. It just dawned on me that I could turn off the laptop and it won't come back on. So hopefully that wasn't anything. Cool. Good job winning a guitar. What else is new? I still feel okay. See, I pour these things, but I'm just tasting them. I'm not fully drinking them. And I'll have to debate if I'm going to toss them into my infinity bottle or if I'll just pour them back into their bottles. Because it's alcohol, Cool. Thanks, Tom F. All right. Well, we can do a wheated rum next. All right. So we're going to switch it up to rum. So I think I'll go ahead and drain my sparkly water, my grapefruit sparkly water, just as a sort of a palate cleanser, or maybe a palate ruiner. Who knows? Okay, now that Lynette's gone, I can talk about this because she's a huge fan of the beard and the mustache. So I only got a couple days left on this thing. The agreement I have with Mrs. Izzo, because she says objectively it's a beautiful beard and she hates the way it feels. So I actually shave it next week sometime. And so do you guys want to see anything crazy as I shave it down? Like I was thinking of taking off the chin first and like going for like British sea captain, like maybe do that for a day. I don't know. Any other thoughts? One year, but that was when I was just had the mustache. 1 year I shaved half my face first, so I had like the big handlebar mustache on one half and left it on the other. But if you have any preferences, what you want to see. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with my deal this year, but I'm thinking next year I might request to keep it for a whole year and like see how crazy I can get a beard like the Ruin. But if I do that, I'm gonna have to give her probably a full year, if not more. But got to keep Mama happy. If Mama ain't happy, ain't no one happy. It looks it kind of looks cooler on video than I feel than it does in real life. But oh well. But that's just me. That's just me. So all this white, I've got some Scottish Irish blood in me. all this white in here used to be red. Like I'd have this beautiful red beard back before I was bothering to grow beards. Oh well. There's still a little bit of red in here, a little bit of red in the mustache. Thanks, Grandpa. That was from Grandpa. But yeah, totally gonna do the British captain. And then, well, and I find that a lot of times, whatever the missus likes is what her husband has. So very few of us are strong enough to just do what we want. We find these good, strong women, and then they rule our lives, even while making us think that we rule our own lives. But what are you gonna do? Maybe I'll do some. Maybe after the captain mustache, maybe I'll do some crazy pork chops. When I do the pork chops, I look like a fat, happy Wolverine. Awesome. All right, let's get into the rum. We don't have a problem of there not being any rum here today, let me tell you. So I don't know if rum opens up the way a whiskey does. So this will be sort of, I guess, an experiment. Sort of an experiment. All right, I'm going to do the wheater first because it's straight 110 proof, and then I'm going to do the rye because it's 110.6. So it's just kicks it up a little over a half a proof point. Okay, barrel. Ooh. So it's barrel number WLLR2, and my brain tells me that they finished this in a Weller barrel, which Weller is a wheated bourbon. Weller and Pappy actually start out life the same, but at some point one of them turns into Weller and one of them turns into Pappy. So I'm wondering with that, here I'll show you guys first because I haven't hit record yet. So I'm with that. Well, I see it looks like it says Weller 2 to me. So I wonder if this was finished in a Weller barrel. That's kind of fun. There's a company I get emails from. I haven't bought a barrel from them yet, but you can buy used barrels from them, and they'll have some very neat stuff. They'll have a Stag Junior sometimes. They'll have a Weller. I just haven't. I don't need to buy a 53-gallon drum at this time yet. Maybe in the future. All right, gonna record. Hey, how's it going there, Aim? It's good to see you. Thanks for hanging out. I hope your hubby is doing good. Maybe he's there too. All right, so gonna do a rum neck pour. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's place. Thirsty Thursday. Got a neck pour, but it's different than what you're used to seeing me do. We've got a 9-year-old rum here, finished in wheated barrels. It doesn't say what kind of wheat whiskey was in this, but based on the barrel number, I'm wondering if it was in a Weller barrel. Look at that number, WLLR2. I just am wondering. Anyway, so Grander is the brand, Panama rum, but then it's finished in a wheated barrel. So let's see what it takes, or it's aged in a wheated barrel. Ooh, good pop. Good pop. Okay, so the color is very light. Normally you wouldn't think a 9-year-old aged spirit would be this light in color, but it's rum, it's not whiskey. So let's go ahead and check this out. While it's got a lot of bourbon notes, I feel that I can tell it's made from sugarcane. Oh yeah, rum for days, but that is very tasty. Let's go and look at the bottle. We'll let that sit for a minute and air out. Okay, Grander is the brand. Grander premium made, trademark, Grander genuine, the ultimate catch. Anyway, Grander Panama rum, aged 9 years, wheated single barrel, finished in a wheated bourbon barrel. It's barrel number WLLR2, 750 milliliters, 55% alcohol by volume, 110 proof, selected by SLB Drinks. And then, so it's got, I love a bottle. So I'm a sucker for a bottle sometimes. So it's got a nice shape to it. It's got a lot of embossing going on. So it's got its logo here, premium made. It's got a little, so part of the logo is a little shark in a target. So that's kind of fun, and it's embossed that way. So that's kind of fun. Then on the sides, we got Grander again, and their emblem, the ultimate catch. All right, let's check out the back. Let's see if there's anything we need to know. So Grander Panama Rum Wheated Barrel Series Single Barrel. Barrel Series is a limited release of fine rums aged in 2 distinctive casks. This rum aged 8 years in an ex-bourbon American white oak barrel, and then 14 months in an ex-wheated bourbon American white oak barrel. Okay, interesting. The second barrel was once used by a Frankfort, Kentucky distillery to age a well-wheated bourbon. Bottled uncut and unfiltered, this rum was distilled, aged, and bottled in Panama. GanderRum.com. Product of Panama, imported by Die Hard Spirits LLC, Maitland, Florida. Wherever that is, I'll have to look that up. Weller. Okay, so let's see what company. Where's my phone? Let's see what company is distilling in. Did I say Frankfort? I've already forgotten. Frankfort, Kentucky. Let's do it this way. What wheated bourbon is made in Frankfort, Kentucky? And hopefully autocorrect will save some of that. Okay, funny. All right, so okay, so at the very least, oh, cool, Tom F. Interesting. Oh, that's okay, Dana. Thanks for being here. We'll do. We'll probably see you this weekend. All right. Have a good evening. Oh, cool. And thanks, Amy. Love it. All right. So the two main contenders made in Frankfort, Kentucky is Castle and Key Small Batch Wheated Bourbon or W.L. Weller. And I feel like by them putting those letters as the barrel number, I feel that it's got to be those. Now, there are some other wheateds here listed, but I'd have to go through to different websites and check where those are made. But there's a whole bunch of other wheateds listed, but I can't see them all being in Frankfort. I don't know how big Frankfort is. All right, so I'm just going to say, as far as I'm concerned, this was finished in a Weller barrel. So let's go ahead and give you some actual notes now. So an aged rum and a bourbon, a whiskey, is going to have some similar notes because it's drawing those notes from the char in the barrel, from the oak itself. So it's going to have some similar notes, but because I'm so into the whiskey, I feel like if you gave this to me blind and asked me, I feel like I could tell you that it was rum because I can smell the sugarcane. And I did actually, in my recent trip to Jamaica, I got to just eat some sugarcane, which you actually don't really eat it. You chew it up, you suck out the juice, and you spit out the pulp. But I feel like I could pick it out. I'll have to have someone test me. I'll have someone do a bunch of pours and see if Izzo can pick out the rum. It does have some very similar qualities to some of the wheated bourbons I'm familiar with. I get light cherries. I get little vanilla, little caramel, like definitely on the sweeter side. But I just get that sugar cane. I feel like I can taste that sugar cane. I'll have to experiment. I'll have to experiment and test myself. Of course, I'll film it so that way if I'm way wrong, you guys will get the benefit. But let's see what it tastes like. Okay. On the palate, it's like brown sugar for days. I didn't really get any of those. I didn't get any of the fruit notes. that I got on the nose. That's all brown sugar and caramel. It was very sweet, very tasty. And I get a little bit of the effects of the barrel, so I can taste like a little bit of the oak tannins, a little bit of the char, but it's pretty muted. Like it's mostly sweet. It's a pretty neat pour of rum. Let's go ahead and jump back in that nose. Okay, second nosing. There's always got to be something weird on the second nosing. Something just a little bit savory, which seems to be a theme. Of course, you don't realize if you're only watching this video that this is the fourth pour of the day. But of course, I'm just tasting them. I'm not drinking them. So, but there's been savory notes in some of the other stuff I've drank today. It's something meat-like, but I can't pull out a specific note for you. Maybe it's not even actual meat. Maybe it's more like a barbecue note, but it's savory. Boy, yeah, brown sugar and caramel for days. Very cool. A little bit drying on the back end. It was aged for 9 years roughly. 8 in one barrel, 14 months in another. I like it. I'm glad I bought it. Honestly, again, just the memory escapes me. I don't remember what I paid for it. So with these though, these are picks from YouTubers. I got 2 of these, one from each kind of barrel that they finished it in. So you're not going to run across this exact product. But when we do the long review, after we see if this is like whiskey, where it'll change a little bit as you get air into the bottle, I will look up the distillery and I will see what sort of products by them are available, and I'll let you know. In the meantime, I would say that if you do come across a grander rum finished in something, it's so far I'm very impressed with it. So it might, if it's in your budget, it's probably a buy. I can't get a backup of this or the other one, but down the road when these get emptied, I will definitely keep an eye out for something to replace it. So I've been impressed so far. All right, that's all I got for you tonight. I'll see you when we do a longer review. Thanks for hanging out at Izzo's place. Yeah, this is pretty tasty for well, I was gonna say for a rum, but you know what? I enjoy rum. There's nothing wrong with rum. I'm just usually mostly a whiskey guy, but I don't know. That's been pretty impressive. And like I said, down in Jamaica, I enjoyed the Appleton Rum Estate stuff. We were gonna tour something, but the poor local that was driving us around that day, her radiator popped early in the day. So on that day, we had like 3 things planned, I think, and we only got to do one of them. But the one that we got to do was the night that we got to swim in the bioluminescence. So it was worth it. It was, well, I mean, it would have been nicer if her car hadn't popped a radiator, and then we had to wait 5 hours for it to get repaired. But being able to get that repaired and get to the bay where we got to swim with the bioluminescent, that was so worth it. Like even bummed out that we missed the other things that day, but swimming in the blue water, that was crazy. That's good stuff. All right, well, we may as well get, what time is it anyway? It's almost 9. I was gonna figure I'd do about an hour and a half, but we'll do one more and then we'll see. But I'll probably close it down around 9 o'clock. But if you got any questions, feel free to pop it in the chat and I'll handle that. All right, so this is a rye. Before we start the neck pour, we'll study this together. So it's a rye, single barrel, finished in an X rye whiskey barrel. WTR 15. WTR. All right, let's see where it was. Let's see if they get us anything. And I will read this later, of course. For the neck pour. Anyway, Barrel Series is a limited release of fine rums aged in 2 distinctive casks. This rum is aged 8 years in an ex-bourbon American white oak barrel. So for both of these, they're starting off in regular bourbon. So apparently not anything exciting. Then they do 14 months in an ex-rye American white oak barrel. The second barrel, a number 4 alligator char, was once used by a Lawrenceburg, Kentucky distillery to age their rye whiskey. Bottled uncut and unfiltered, this rum was distilled, tropically aged, and bottled in Panama. Interesting. Product of Panama. Maitland, Florida again. WTR. So what would WTR be? Let's see if we can do like a little search. What rye whiskey would have the initial WTR? What rye whiskey has letters WTR? Oh, and it said Lordsburg. We'll look that up too. Okay. The internet was not happy with that search. It didn't give me anything good. All right, so let's look did it say Lawrenceburg, I think? Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. That sounds familiar. So what rye is distilled in Lawrenceburg? How do you spell Lawrenceburg? Lawrenceburg. Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. Okay. Okay, let's see what we got. We got Rossville Union. Got Russell's Reserve. Wild Turkey Rye. It's totally Wild Turkey Rye in here. Okay. What else do we got? La Rican Bourbon Company. Never heard of them. But WTR, Wild Turkey Rye. It's got to be. Okay. Okay. Again, as far as I'm concerned, that's a bummer now, is because now I gotta. Well, no, I don't think I pretended to be surprised for the other neck pour on the Weller. I think I just stated my personal thought on what it is. So I guess I can do that again. All right, let's do this last one. Get it out of the way. Then we can chat for a bit if you want. Hey there, welcome to Neck Pourers. Thirsty Thursday. All right, let's just do that again. Yeah, that just didn't seem like it was going to roll off the tongue very well. Hey there, welcome to Izzo's Place. Thirsty Thursday. Let's do a neck pour. So I don't know which one I'm releasing chronologically, but you're used to me doing whiskeys. But I've got a couple of rum neck pours out there now. So let's do another rum neck pour. So this is again from Grander Panama Rum. So distilled and aged in Panama. But they like to use ex-bourbon barrels. And then with this single barrel aging version, they do about 14 months in another barrel. So let's go ahead, crack this open. Ooh, there you go. Pop with a bang, since I was too close to the desk apparently. Okay, so this was done 8 years in a regular bourbon barrel. Doesn't say where the first 8-year barrel is, where it's from. But then it's done for 14 months in an ex-rye barrel from Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. And then, if you notice, the barrel number is WTR 15. So what this tells me is this is Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve Rye 15. They did a barrel in. That's what it tells me. I don't know if it's accurate. That's just what Izzo thinks. But that would be fantastic. So even though it's been aged for 9 years, it's very light. I don't know if that's might be normal for rum. I don't know. But it's not as dark as you'd expect a 9-year-old, like if we were looking at a whiskey or a bourbon, to look to be. Yeah, Tom F. And we need to see if that distillery has a tasting room. It's kind of fantastic. Let's go ahead and look at the bottle before I give you any notes. So just like the wheated bourbon, fantastic bottle. It's got embossing all over it. It's got their name, Grander. It's got their logo, which is like a shark over a target, and they got a catchphrase written on it: "The ultimate catch." Let's go ahead and look at the notes on it. So, aged 9 years, Grander Panama rum, rye single barrel, finished in an ex rye whiskey barrel. So, barrel WTR 15. It's gotta be wild turkey, right? It's gotta be 15-year-old rye held in this barrel before this rum went into it. Anyway, 750 milliliter, 55.3% alcohol by volume, 110.6 proof. This was picked by SLB Drinks. Shout out to Kurt and Trenton. I do enjoy purchasing their picks. Grander Panama Rum Rye, Barrel Series Single Barrel. Barrel Series is a limited release of fine rums aged in 2 distinctive casks. This rum is aged 8 years in an ex-bourbon American white oak barrel, and then 14 months in an ex-rye American white oak barrel. The second barrel, a number 4 alligator char, was once used by a Lawrenceburg, Kentucky distillery to age their rye whiskey. Bottled uncut and unfiltered, this rum was distilled tropically aged and bottled in Panama. GranderRum.com. Product of Panama, imported by Die Hard Spirits, or DeHart Spirits LLC, Maitland, Florida. Government warning, barcode, WTR. It's gotta have Russell's rye in here. I don't know. That's what I'm getting out of it. I don't know if you could hear that. I'm gonna edit it out. There was some coughing in the background. Okay, back to the neck pour. So again, I feel like I'm gonna have to have a contest and test myself. I feel like I can tell that that's sugar cane. It is not corn, not in the slightest. It's very good. I just feel like I can tell the difference. I'm gonna have to find out. So on this, I do get a hint. I get the tiniest hint of winter mint, which is what I normally get in a rye whiskey. So I feel like it's picked up some of that from the rye. But it could just be in my head. Maybe I put it into my head by reading the bottle, whatever it is. Just a little hint of mintiness. Other than that, it's very sweet. A little bit of honey, a little bit of vanilla. It is spicier than the wheated one. It doesn't have any direct rye notes in the palate, but it's definitely spicier than the wheated one that I tried. It's very good. I'll try to give you some notes. Let's go back to the nose for a second. Nothing savory this time on the second nosing. But that Bazooka Joe Big League Chew note showed up again. Other than that, just the littlest hint of winter mint, but mostly vanilla and honey. I kind of was enjoying it. I kind of forgot to figure out what kind of notes we had. It's definitely just like the other one. There's a lot of the oak tannins on the back. It's a little bit drying in the back end. It's not a problem. It's still delicious, but it's just got that. So if you don't like that kind of effect, it's just something to know about. Yeah, there's just okay. There's a mintiness there on the palate as well. There's just a light mintiness. Tells me that somehow rye was involved. It was very cool. Nothing new on the nose. I should have had some music playing for you guys. Oh well. I'll remember that for next time. Or I'll try to remember. I keep getting distracted and then forgetting to give you notes on the palate. Like I'm kind of lost in it, which is a good sign. I'm apparently just was lost in the whiskey or in the rum. A little bit of brown sugar, a little bit of caramel, just like the other one. But then there's that underneath it, kind of floating in there, that little bit of mint. Lost in rum, lost with rum, losing ourselves to the rum. Why is there no more rum? Or why is the rum always out? I can't remember the quote. Why is the rum always out? Well, Jack, that's because you drank it. All right, cool. So I'm gonna, before we do the long review, I gotta drink a little bit down. We gotta get some air into this thing, see if it changes at all. But so far, I'm very impressed with both of these rums. Granted, these are single barrel. I'll find out how easy / hard it is to find this, and I'll let you know what's available because I'm very impressed with this so far. And so, Mrs. Izzo can't drink whiskey with me, but I wonder if she can drink these rums without triggering a migraine. So, she's not here right now. I'll make her try it tomorrow. Always gone. Why is the rum always gone? Cool. All right, let's go ahead and getting stuff from some of my viewers. I appreciate you people. Because without you, I have no channel. It's just talking head. Oh my goodness, so many texts. Okay. Okay. Oh, sweet. Okay, awesome. I will study that later, Tom. Thank you. And I would have to check. I'll check out the Discord for Adam's pictures later. All right. What else? Let's just experiment. Oh, this thing's still going. Oh, I don't know if I ever finished. So I better finish then. All right. So we'll see you for the long review. And thanks for hanging out at Izzo's place. I can edit something together with that. And anything that's too goofy will. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. I like the finish on it. There's an awesome maple body. All right, so I'll stay on for a few more minutes, as long as you guys want. If you have any questions, shoot me some questions. If you have any comments, I have a question for you. All 4 of you that are watching. So the easiest content to make. Hey, Mike B, how you doing? All right, so Beachman, that's how I would say your name. Let me know if that's accurate, Mike Beachman. I don't know if I'm correct on that. So the alcohol content is the easiest, obviously, because I sit on my butt and I drink it. So the construction and the tool reviews is a little more difficult. Oh, cool. Awesome, Mike Beachman. Do you guys, and I know you watch me to varying degrees, do you have a preference on what do you prefer as far as content? Because I do feel like at some point, yeah, I love the tiger stripe. That's awesome, tiger eye. So I feel like I don't want to be a whiskey channel, but I sort of want to be a whiskey channel, but I sort of don't want to be a whiskey channel. So I imagine at some point I might break the whiskey off, like maybe not entirely, like still do 1 day a week on the regular main Izzo's place. But I was thinking maybe just resurrecting one of my, because I used to have several channels going on because I wanted to keep the subjects separate, but it didn't seem like any of them was growing on their own. So I just started focusing on one channel and just doing everything I wanted on the one channel. Do you guys like the setup? Is there something you'd rather see more of? Should I cut the alcohol off and start another channel? I don't know if you guys got an opinion on that. Feel free to let me know. And I got to do some thinking about that because I mean, it's been a nice blessing. I think I'm at 566 subscribers now. I never thought I'd get that far. So, and I still owe people some merch from 250 subscribers. So those people, I don't know if they still watch. They might be mad at me. I should just surprise them and finally send them some Izzo stuff. But never. I was too busy to have a 500 subscriber live stream. Oh well, we'll cross that bridge later. But let me know. I don't know if there's anything you like, or I don't know about you guys. A lot of times I will follow YouTubers because I like their personality. So maybe I watch them because of the subject. But if I stay and hang out and keep watching a channel, it's usually because I like the personality of whoever's there. So maybe you guys are like that. Maybe for some reason you like this crazy man, and you don't care what the content is. So I'm fine either way. I'm a big boy. I can take it. So if you guys have something that I do that you like in particular, if I do break the alcohol away, I would probably leave this channel as it is now, like alcohol 1 day a week, car repairs, woodworking projects, randomness, like the rest of the week. But I mean, I am obsessed with the whiskey. It might be fun just to have another channel where I just do alcohol every day. Because I have so many videos backlogged. Like the 4, if you anyone that was watching, you got to see me do neck pours. It'll take me forever to get those reviews out. Okay, cool. Well, we'll keep the format, but maybe I'll start just a secondary channel where I can just pump out the alcohol. No, Stephen Noon, thank you. Okay, cool. Awesome, thanks, Silicone. It is busy and complicated. That's right. Very interesting. But yeah, and I've got other stuff. It's just, unfortunately, I enjoy working and I work pretty hard. I mean, I've got vacations backlogged. I can make videos for days about my trip to California. I can make videos for days on various things I've done in between. Oh, Kelsey Elizabeth, welcome in. How's it going? Um, like I've got a lot of potential videos. It's just finding the time to do it is always difficult. So I am, whenever we're done with this live stream, I am going to make sure that I record a tools day video. So I'm going to do some sort of tool review for tomorrow, and then maybe get back on to a schedule like that. Oh, so it won't be this week. Let's see, will it be next week? When do I go back to Ohio? So I was given some media samples from a distillery called Limestone Farms, and I've already recorded trying them. They are very good. I do want to just record another segment where I kind of go over their website because they're a younger distillery, but they've got like a hotel and they've got some amenities on their property. And so I want to add just a little bit to that video. But within the next 2 weeks, I'm hoping to put out my video of reviewing the media samples they gave me, and that was exciting. Like they didn't send them to me unsolicited. I had to email them, and one of their salesmen got in touch with me and offered to send some samples for me to review. But it is exciting. It's my first time doing anything like that. So within the next 2 weeks, that video will get released. And I'm sure there's no way I haven't seen Tom Morrow in the chat, so I'm sure he's not watching tonight. But I'm totally gonna, after we do the review, totally gonna see if I can get like a discount or a comp of going and staying at their place and checking out their distillery. So I'll work on that after I finally release the review, because the whiskey is very good. Some of it's expensive, some of it isn't, but the whiskey's very good, and they're a younger distillery. So maybe this summer I'll try to sucker a stay in their hotel and a tour of their distillery for a discounted price. Who knows? It would be fun. We'll see. Can't I always say it doesn't hurt to ask. Ask anything. Ask anything. It doesn't hurt to ask. What else? Okay. All right. So for now, Izzo's place will continue on as normal, and I may start. So I've got some ideas. I do have a couple of channel names saved just in case I use them. So one channel idea that I have is called Whiskey Avengers Assemble, and if I did that channel, I would want that to be me and a couple of buddies, and kind of doing contests like dares or challenges, like pick out which one of these is Buffalo Trace, like do stuff like that. And then you could also have reviews and things on that. I also have a buddy, actually, and he's in the Limestone Farms video when I finally get that edited. He's in the video with me. I got another buddy I wouldn't mind doing like a whiskey review channel or podcast called Toasted and Oak. I don't know. So possibilities out there. We'll see. But I mean, I've also got a bunch of projects, you know, craft projects that I'm halfway through. So I'm really good at starting things and sometimes not always good about finishing them. So, but Tom F, we will make sure we make that guitar case. I'm probably going to try to make a guitar case for my bass guitar first, and then have you check it out. And then if you like it, we'll make that guitar case together. Stuff like that. All right, let's play around with StreamYard just for fun. So I have figured out like I can do. No one, they don't know. No one knows. Bob's not here. No one knows. So yeah, I can do thumbs up. It gives me a thumbs up. If I do 2 thumbs up. Come on now. 2 thumbs up. Are you gonna give me 2 thumbs up? No, it's just doing the 1. There we go. So StreamYards will do fireworks if I do 2 thumbs up. I could also thumbs down. Come on. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good thing I didn't say anything specific. You're right, Tom. Thank you. Okay, there we go. So it'll give me the bubble, but then 2 thumbs down. Come on. It doesn't like me today. There we go. Make it rain. Make it rain. All right, so what else can we do with StreamYard? Let's play with this. So we got banners. This is an example of a banner. Click on it to show it on the screen. This one went here, in case I decide to drink those later. Use banners to summarize your talking points at display. Oh, looks like I must have. Oh, ticker tape. Okay, so we got banners, we got ticker tapes. Gonna start reporting. Oh, okay. That's old. Okay. Was I doing giveaways? Boy, I don't know if I did. Boy, hopefully I got an email about it if I did. All right, let's get out of there. Okay, back to that. All right, media assets. All right, let's see. So I don't have any. Okay, StreamYard overlay, add overlay, intro, video, outro. Oh, cool. I can do a countdown to the live stream. I can add video clips. Now I don't know if I. Oh, okay. And it wants me to upgrade. So, all right, we're not upgrading. How do I get out of here? Okay, good. There we go. All right, so we're not going to do that. Oh, awesome. Silicone Dave, have a great evening. Have a good tomorrow. Have a good week. I like it. All right, so media assets. It looks like I got to upgrade. Can I do an intro video? No. Okay. So yeah, it looks like I would have to upgrade. I'm not ready for upgrade now. Bubbles. So we got different backgrounds. Let's see. Did it do it? Doesn't look like it did it. Or do I have to? It's not doing anything. Okay, who knows? Maybe I would need a green screen to do that. Oh, we do have background music. Let's do. Can you guys hear that? Is it overwhelming? I can turn down the volume on it if we need. All right, what's the style thing? I can be in a circle. I can be in a square. I can be, I guess, regular. Oh, okay. Okay, all right, enough of that. All right, what else we got? We got color. So that's for the name, minimal. Oh, okay, interesting. Okay, cool, good. I mean, it's just generic boring. I imagine down the road I could upload something. You guys will be stuck with me playing cello if I do that. Rounded corners. Ooh, the corners are rounded now. I don't know if you guys can see that. Ooh, there's a private chat. How do I chat with? Oh, in the studio. There's no one here in the studio with me. Okay. Okay, interesting. I got some more playing that I should do with that. Cool. Okay, I was just playing, and then of course we don't have any guests, so that doesn't help. None of that helps. Don't mind me just clicking on things on StreamYards. Stop cam. You can stop the cam, and you get bearded anime Izzo. Haha, you don't know the secret thing I said while I was muted. Unless you read lips, in which case you know that all I said is, haha, I'm muted. Alright, don't mind me just playing with StreamYards. Alright friends, I should probably go. I was gonna wrap it up around 9 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. There's 3 of you left. Yeah, so for now we're gonna keep on going. We'll keep pushing Izzo's place the way I've been pushing it. We'll do projects, we'll do tour reviews, we'll do one day a week, we'll do alcohol. And we'll see what else happens. But thank you so much for watching. So I should probably do my outro. So if you're working, work safely. If you're drinking whiskey, please drink responsibly. But do everything with a little bit of whimsy, and you're gonna have a good time. And I'll see you next time you're hanging out at Izzo's place. Alright, thanks guys. It was lovely having you here today.